machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away. Never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. It's something you can never take, but it's not uncommon to forsake. Got a chronic urge to complicate. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Um, Folks, we got a bit of a short stream today. We're gonna get as much of this stuff done. Tomorrow, there's not going to be a stream tomorrow. We are taking
Vaquita to the vet, so I have to run to the vet as soon as I'm done with work to go pick her up. She's got to get her toothers cleaned, folks. She's got to get her some dentistry work done. Poor kitty has had pretty bad luck when it comes to teeth. So yeah, last time we had to take her to get a tooth pulled out, and hopefully not much more other than get a cleaning. There does, in my opinion, seem to be like a suspect tooth in there, but of course they can probably see better once she's in the vet. John Lithium, welcome. Michael Hassler, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. If you want to support the channel, there are the links. Do all the stuff, folks. Do all the stuff. Check out my show on this space at 7 p.m. each Tuesday. Check out the merch store, ! Tip, Discord, Substack. Do all the stuff, folks. Quick shout out to Galactic Streamlord, or GNN, or formerly GNN on YouTube. Thank you for the offline follow. I see you, and I appreciate that. Let me just get my stuff up here. Okay. You know, there's been this, you know, times are getting bad when music when the music starts to get good, when all of these like indie artists and whatnot start coming out with banger after banger. And there's this one that came out just recently. It's like a part two. Let me see if I can find it. This is a completely original song and remix. Let's see if I can pull it up. Here it is. Yeah, it's right here.
We're in the middle.
Hey, come back.
We're in the middle of a
Hostile takeover.
There's
People disappearing on the way to work.
and
If you're saying, wait a minute,
we have to stop this. We can't now 'cause he doesn't plan on leaving that office.
completely original.
Hostile
Hey, John Lithium.
We're in the middle.
Oh, wait, they didn't put the full song?
We're
What?
in the middle of a hostile government.
They didn't put the whole thing?
There's people disappearing.
Let's see if I can find it. Did I do that?
We're in the
Hey, come back.
We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. There's people disappearing
All on their way to work.
And if you're
You're saying, wait a minute, we have to stop this.
we
Can't now cause he doesn't plan on leaving that office. Let me see if I can find the original. I mean, this remix is pretty good. Yeah, where's the full thing? Because this is definitely the guy. Maybe it's on Facebook because YouTube Shorts might not give you the full thing. Let's see.
We're in the middle.
Well, I'll be.
Okay,
We're
so
in the middle of a hostile government takeover.
This is the original one.
I wanna talk about it, but I'll be late for work. And if you're saying, wait a minute, who we have to stop this? We had one, but you didn't want that lady in office. Now that we're a part of a Nigerian prince scam, surprise, surprise, it ended up being a white man. Oh, I just wanna know, what the hell do I do? Probably drink.
feel this. Now, if I can find the other one.
I wanna talk about it, but I'll be late for work. And if you're saying, wait a minute, who we have to stop this? We have one, but you didn't want that lady in office. Hostile government. Take over.
So juxtapose that with like this the 8 months later, and the tone shift is wild. The tone shift from this more kind of playful playful tune with, you know, obvious significance turns into
We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. There's people disappearing while on the way to work. And if you're saying, wait a minute, who we have to stop this? We can't now, 'cause he doesn't plan on leaving that office. Now that y'all are worried about losing your farmland, your eyes are wide to what he did on that island. Oh, I just wanna know, what the hell do I do?
yeah, that is fantastic. And the remix with Vinny was just great. Hey Nadia, how's it going? Kirkenstein's Monster. Welcome. I just chugged a Monster. Nice. So you're ready. You're ready to go. We're just going through some music in during the fascist America era. Very, very, very talented stuff. I love it. I love it. So yesterday we went over the Politico article in which, surprise, surprise, a bunch of chat logs got leaked about from the Telegram chat of the young Republicans, and surprise, surprise, it was full of Nazi stuff. And here we have President or Vice President J.D. Vance essentially running cover here for these Nazis.
So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer. We don't believe in political violence, but we do believe in civility. And there is no civility in the celebration of political assassination. But the reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes. Like, that's what kids do.
No. First of all, so the first clip is from earlier. I think the first clip was like a couple weeks ago or like something like that. It was not recent. And somehow he's out here saying that, you know, kids, kids, and by kids we mean anywhere from 18 to 40-year-olds, are out here talking about how they love Hitler and saying just explicitly Nazi stuff, and fantasizing about throwing even their own folks in gas chambers, let alone political opponents. Yeah, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. The young Republicans are anywhere. The group is anywhere from 18 to 40. So I guess that's kind of young for Republicans, but yeah. The Republican admiration of the NS regime is going over like lead balloon in Germany, as you might expect. Yep.
And I really don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke, is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say, enough of this BS. We're not going to allow the worst moment in a 21-year-old's group chat to ruin a kid's life for the rest of time. That's just not okay. Like, we live in a digital world. This stuff is now etched in stone online.
Yeah,
we're all going to have to say, you know what?
So maybe don't. So maybe like don't say a bunch of Nazi stuff. You know, like if you recognize that like the internet is essentially forever, then like maybe like don't do Nazi stuff. I mean, this is not that difficult. 40 is about half the average age for true. But daring not to worship Kirk is worthy of losing your job or worse. Correct.
No. We're not doing this. We're not canceling kids because they do something stupid in a group chat. And if I have to be the person who carries that message forward, I'm fine with it.
So he's talking about the group chat of the Telegram group chat, okay? About the Young Republicans group, i.e., the future of the Republican Party, talking about some Nazi shit, using slurs and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's the vice president. On one hand, saying earlier about people who joke about Charlie Kirk, right? Get those people fired. Nazis, okay? Nazis posting Nazi shit. Oh, they're just edgy kids. And they shouldn't be, quote, canceled for something, quote, dumb. The stupid thing in question is saying Nazi shit, just to be clear. Ladybug, welcome. everyone should follow Alejandra Carballo. She posts great stuff. Follow her on Blue Sky. I think she also posts on Twitter, but I don't really go on Twitter that often. Suffice to say, these are not kids. They're full grown-ass adults, many of them in their 20s and early 30s. I believe some folks in chat were confirming. At least one was elected state senator in Vermont, and even if they were, it's never okay to make anti-Semitic and racist jokes like that. Yeah, like that's what Vance is talking about when he says these are just edgy jokes and they're just saying stupid things, right? They're saying stupid, offensive things. Imagine what's going on in the GOP chat rooms that we're not seeing if JD Vance thinks this is not a big deal. Right, he thinks it's not a big deal because he's running cover for Nazis. That's it. And mind you, the only reason any of this is known is because probably, according to the article, one of these GOP people had a problem and probably leaked this stuff. But the reality is, like, yeah, this is what's happening. Imagine all the stuff that we're not seeing. Imagine all the stuff that we're not seeing. Yeah, he agrees with it 100%. Otherwise, he would be saying like, this is unacceptable. At least put like a front to it, right? At least pretend to say that this kind of stuff is unacceptable. That it has no place in the Republican Party, as it consistently happens in the Republican Party. But no, he doesn't. They don't even need to do that anymore. They just say like, oh. These kids, these grown adults, these kids, they're just saying silly stuff online, No one should ruin the career. No one should ruin the career of these kids over some silly stuff that they're posting on a group chat. So what if they're edgy? Haven't you been edgy? Okay? Hasn't everyone decided to join a far-right political movement and just say slurs and joke about putting not just each other but political opponents in gas chambers, right? Who among us, right, chat? Who among us hasn't? Good Lord. It has a place in the Republican Party front and center. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hello, my fellow Americans. As you may know, I am currently in the hospital suffering from amnesia, which may result in me getting surgery. Pray for me and thank you for your attention to this matter. Wait, is that for real? Is that for real? Because I would be... Oh, man. Welcome, Looney Tunes. Redman, who would you trust to monitor all the chat rooms? I mean, I don't think we can. I don't think we can monitor all. Like, you know how many freaking underground like Telegram chat rooms these Nazis have? It's impossible. It's not about even monitoring them. It's more like this just happened to leak. That's all. No, okay. Here I was thinking you were making a joke about something that may have happened. Surgery for amnesia? No, I thought he was making a joke about something else, like using the ridiculousness of saying something like, needing surgery for amnesia. I thought he was like, I thought he had some kind of health stuff. It's totally possible that Donald Trump like has some kind of medical emergency at any given point, right? Because he's very, very unhealthy. I just thought it was like kind of like a in a joke way, right? Like surgery for amnesia. I wish it was real. Give him a lobotomy. I don't think that'll fix it. Gotta be honest. Yeah, the guy doesn't have that much time left. I agree. Oh. Anyways, we were continuing a video that we weren't able to finish last time. Tattoo lover, welcome. JD's not going to be any better. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think if Donald Trump just like kicks the bucket, for whatever reason, stroke, heart attack, whatever, JD Vance is in fact, I would say JD Vance is probably a little bit more scarier. We're continuing on with this video that we couldn't finish last time on Monday. Let's see if we can finish this. And then we move on.
It's so difficult for them to have a relationship with their MAGA parents because
Is that Roseanne behind them? No. No, but it kind of does look like her. Vance will be dramatically worse because he'll have his mind far more collected to do far worse, severe and long-lasting damage. I agree.
One, not politicians. Number two, do not side with either Republican or Democratic Party. Like, they're just people reading the bill.
This is why it's so difficult for them to have a relationship with their MAGA parents because you can't talk to them. They take everything as an attack. And she goes on to explain in that TikTok that she didn't send him that information as some sort of a gotcha or to belittle him or to prove that she was right and he was wrong. She sent it to him out of a general concern because she was afraid that he would be affected by the big bullshit bill. And in a different text that he sent to her that she shared, he says, well, look, how about this? If it negatively affects me, I'll admit that I was wrong. But she didn't want him to just be like, oh, okay, if this negatively affects me, I'll concede that it's bad. She wanted him to care about other people that this...
Yeah, like, that's kind of like the problem, right? Because, like, it's not... As it turns out, we live in a society, okay? Just because something affects you or doesn't affect you doesn't mean it doesn't impact other people, right? Because we are currently living under a clearly fascist state, okay, and to a degree, you know, it may not affect you, or it may directly impact you, it may not. That doesn't mean it isn't causing negative impacts to real people, right? Like, what about all the people that have been dragged away? What about all the people that are getting beaten by federal police in these protests? Okay. What about people's rights who are directly impacted by this? Okay, just because you're not the one on the chopping block right now doesn't mean that you don't live in a society. Okay, and saying that you only care because it finally affects you is deeply is indicative of a deep problem here. Okay, and one that I would argue is exacerbated by capitalism.
Affected as well, and explains that it's wrong to just not have regard for the well-being of others. I'm paraphrasing, but you can watch the full TikTok. I'll link to her channel down below. But like, what she's dealing with is the unabashed cruelty of MAGA parents, which is so hard for children to digest because a lot of people idolize their parents and try to embrace the values that they've instilled into them. So it's hard to watch the people who
and again, of course, you know, parents are people, okay, and they can be bad people. I'm not saying that all parents are bad people. I'm just saying that they're human, just like anyone else, and humans can be horrible. I know it's off topic, so is it me or the Mormons and Latter-day Saints Church desperate for new members? Now I live in a suburb and I see every month I'm trying to reach people about Joseph Smith. I mean, it's like half off topic because we are discussing cult behavior, right?
Everything turned into these spiteful assholes. And that's something that Chad showcased about his parents in a conversation about Greta Thunberg.
How about Greta Thunberg? How about that? Patriot of the Year.
What are you laughing at, Dad? Do you know what happened to her?
No.
Yeah. She
What?
got hosed down.
She was on a boat carrying aid to people in Gaza.
She got hosed down.
The Israeli military stopped their boat, detained them all, beat the shit out of her, made her crawl on the ground, kiss an Israeli flag, and have now detained her.
Good.
She's only 22, by the way. Was she
Yeah.
American?
She's that dipshit that
What are you talking about? What is she? Is she American? Who cares? Like as if there's like no other countries on this planet, as if there's no other people on this planet. What are you talking about? And like the fact that she was beaten and tortured by the Israeli government. Hello, that should ring alarm bells. Like, why would you support a government like that? Okay. But hey, torture and being beaten and being arrested and detained, all that is good as long as it's happening to your political opponents. Like, do these people like not think that maybe, like, if it were them, would they want people talking like that about them? Does that make sense, chat? Like if the shoe was on the other foot, right? Like, obviously, like lefties don't believe in this kind of stuff. Like, don't believe in torture and don't believe in human rights abuses. But if it was them, right? If it was them, if it was conservatives being tortured or being taken by government and beaten, would they want people talking like that about them? Would they want other people saying like, oh, whoever, I don't know, whatever, insert conservative person here, that dipshit, whatever, right? Like, so what? Why would you support a government that thinks SA is right? Correct. Yeah, it's the face, the face of MAGA. Israel literally considers SA a right. I know that they did protest, because some soldiers did some pretty bad stuff with regards to SA on some Palestinian captives or something, and there was a protest in favor of those soldiers. So yeah,
started all this crap a long time ago.
What crap did she start, Dad?
All that woke business.
yeah,
What woke business? What?
yeah. Greta Thunberg single-handedly started all this woke business. Confirmed. Confirmed. Merz and Klockner are reputedly blackmailing Mir, Schweiss, and Ortlev with the threat they'll dump the SPD entirely and form a coalition with the AFD instead. Oh man, history, man. Isn't it fun?
What did she do?
You know what she did?
Do you know what she did, is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Like, I'm not familiar with German politics, but I know enough to kind of see what this is about. Wow. Isn't history fun, folks? Why would you need to read history when you can just live it? That's cool. Echo Wrestler Dragon, welcome.
Dude,
Then what was it?
I told you.
Woke business?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. She protests for it's climate change advocacy. It's the genocide in Gaza.
And Dad, you're shitting on her. You don't even know what she did. That was clear.
Yeah, I do.
That clip is crazy to me. Seeing your dad gloat about a 22-year-old activist getting abused and humiliated by a genocidal government has got to be rough.
Yeah, and like again, would these that's the kind of stuff that I would ask, given that it's supposedly family. I don't know why, but if I wear the sweater, I get too hot. But if I take off the sweater, then I get cold. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, like, would this guy be like cool with people making fun of or people talking like that about him if he was in Greta's position? If he was like being, tortured by a foreign government? Like, I don't. That's the kind of stuff. Like, hey, Dad, would it be fine if like it was you on that side? Would it be fine if like you were the one, like, if someone was talking about you that way? Yeah, being concerned with the well-being of our planet. The only planet we have is that woke stuff. Yeah, the woke business. There's one interesting thing Joe Biden did as president: make a trade deal with Aldi grocery stores in the States because India became the most populous country 3 years ago over China. I showed this on my show last week, and everyone on my show had the same opinion. Don't talk politics in front of your parents or family. Right, but also, like, it kind of is not. It's unavoidable, right? Like, it's unavoidable, and it's like, would not talking politics or not address like the problems with family and friends, like, not. I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. If that's good or bad. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't know if it's good that you just don't talk politics, especially if you have a bunch of MAGA people, or is it good that you push back and stand on business and try to introduce some reality? Not that they'll take it, but at least it's there. I don't know. I fled the U.S. to Germany to get away from the shit, and about to sign a lease on a flat. Having to run so soon without the work connection is not a happy prospect. Well, at least you probably have more time over there than here. Politics is pervasive. Who and what I am pretty much brings politics front and center, but it shouldn't, right? Like, it's just you. You are a person, and there shouldn't be quote politics on the fact that you are you. You're good, Bruno. Friends aren't friends if they're on the wrong side of politics. Family go to the zero contact zone when they fall on the wrong side of politics. Yeah, and I don't mean like, oh, I got you, Kralio. Yeah, like the wrong side of politics, meaning like they don't want people like you to exist. You know what I mean? Like, that's completely like where we're at. I try to avoid talking about politics with conservatives that I know, but it's impossible. They are quarrelsome and want to argue. Yeah, and like, if you want to argue, then like, you can prepare to catch like the business. Then, if you don't want the truth, then like, why are you starting shit? I mean, like, it's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. People complain about politics being in art, music, and whatever. You literally cannot avoid it. Ideology is personal, and anything anyone creates is unavoidably contain aspects of that. I mean, yeah, specifically when it comes to art, yeah, it's unavoidable, right? Like, yeah, I don't know.
And look,
I don't know why people don't think that.
I have many MAGA family members, but thankfully my parents and in-laws aren't like that. But like, if my dad when he was alive, behaved in that way and relished in the suffering of somebody else who is trying to stop a genocide, I don't think I would ever be able to look at him the same way again. And I've got to imagine that it's so much more difficult as it is to have MAGA family. It's so much more difficult to see your own parents exhibit such cruelty after they showed you the love that they wanted you to show to other people when
Right, but like, but that's the thing, right? They're saying that the in-group, our family or our perceived in-group is the one that needs protecting and screw everybody else. But it's like, that's not how this works. We live in a society, okay? The world is more than just, the world is more than just the little family nucleus that you live in, okay? What you believe and how you act on those beliefs matter. European conservatives are to the left of the Democratic Party politicians anyways. That's sad. Like when someone tried to argue with me about tariffs, they tried to say that other countries paid the tariffs. I was like, we pay them. It's a tax on imports. Yeah, I mean, like, this is,
they were raising you. Like, it's a completely different side of them that you're seeing that you never wanted to think existed. And I would imagine it feels like a betrayal to the...
Again, family are just people. They're just human beings. Friends and family are just human beings. And human beings can be terrible.
These people with MAGA parents. And that's kind of how these next two TikTokers characterize the situation. And you can see them struggle with who their parents became after they were raised by their parents to not be the way their parents are now.
If I would have said to my mother when I was a child that I thought that everybody from a different country was a bad person and deserved to be deported, she would have smacked the shit out of me. If I would have come to her as a teenager and said that I was thinking about dating somebody who's on tape talking about grabbing by the and hanging out with PDF files, she would have smacked the shit out of me. If ever in my life she heard me mocking a disabled person, considering she has a disabled child, I have a disabled sister, she would have smacked the absolute shit out of me. Now, friends, guess who voted for whom in these last couple elections?
Yeah, but like when you're in a cult, when you're in a cult, rationality has left the chat. Okay, rationality and principles and everything, all of that has left the chat. Okay, forget about it. Okay, when someone is in a cult, especially in a cult like this, the person that you knew is no longer. Okay, the person that you knew is no longer. That's not like, that's it. They're in the cult. The cult is above everything. Okay, the cult is above everything. The cult leader can do no wrong. And having to face reality that goes against the cult will be outright rejected and make the cult member probably hostile. Yeah, when one is in a cult, cognitive dissonance can smother the higher thought process. Yep, like all of that has left the chat. Martin Stelner, Bjorn Hoek, and Alice Weidel are to the left of Obama and Biden. Wilders too, and Marine Le Pen. I hate to say this, but banned social media society will improve if this ban is enacted. No, I think like it's too late. I don't think we can do that. It's too late, and how did Nazism catch on like wildfire in a time where you don't even have the internet? This is a human condition. And the only way to deal with it is that way, right? Is making sure people have what they need, making sure people have food, housing, education, healthcare, making sure people have that. That's how you beat this kind of stuff. You beat it with real answers that solve socioeconomic problems. All of those politicians believe in universal health care and are proposing mass deportation plans less aggressive than what Obama and Biden have already done. I mean, sheesh. That's at least believing in universal health care is a step above what we have. Nobody regulated the media. Yeah, and that's true. That's true to the extent. The Germany, when in the Weimar years, had a pretty liberal society. There were so many different publications, so many different political factions, so many different ideologies that were represented. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you were to Thanos snap social media, you're not gonna Thanos snap Nazism.
Because I'm sitting here trying to understand where that disconnect came in. Because what I am out here doing is fighting for the values that were instilled in me by somebody who no longer has them. Not only no longer has them, while I am out here fully ready and willing to die for these rights and values. She would unalive me, her daughter, because she is now against these things so much. See, she has been conditioned by a party and right-wing media to believe that I am the enemy. I am against fascism. I am anti-fascist. Her new gods would call me Antifa. But Mom, all that means is I heard every word that you told me. And I am still fighting for the person that you were, the person that you raised me to be, in the future that you made me believe that we can and will have.
Have any of you other millennials had to...
The media should be regulated to certain standards. Yeah, we used to have them, didn't we? Didn't we used to have like certain standards here in the U.S.? I think it was called the good Lord, there was a law that was here in the United States a while ago. I can't remember it right now. The Weimar is not what people call it in German. What did they call it? I think Project Bluebeam, I've never heard of this, could be real because of what Ronald Reagan said. Let me stop you right there. let me stop you right there. Because of what Ronald Reagan said, that can be very much discounted. I occasionally think how quickly our differences would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. Maybe. But yeah, bro is delusional, and if he was truly interested in bringing our differences aside, then he should have worked on making inclusive and better policies to keep people united. The problem is that the FCC is only accountable to POTUS, and the FCC is not an independent body. No, we had a law. Oh man, I can't remember the name of this thing. The Fairness Doctrine. That's what it is, the Fairness Doctrine. It looks like German Republic, Deutsche Republik, because previous to that it was a constitutional monarchy, a Kaiserreich. Huh. The more you know.
look your parents in the face and tell them that because they support Trump, that they no longer have any moral standing in your life? Like, I was raised in church to the point that I even helped start a church. I used to be a pastor. Now this whole Epstein situation is blowing up in Trump's face. And my mom literally looked at me and said, oh, Pam Bondi had a different version of the Epstein files on her desk when she said it was on her desk.
The levels of mental, the Olympic levels of mental gymnastics necessary to continue this like cult behavior, because whether it be because you don't want to be on the out group, you don't want to be excluded from the cult, whether it be because you're fearful, whether it be because simply you just truly believe and nothing will change your mind. It is fascinating watching these people's minds work to try to justify basic reality. Wait, who is this video? This is a compilation of people with MAGA family, MAGA parents. And the original video, the commentary is by the Humanist Report. This is the Humanist Report. This specific clip is from a TikTok account called Epistemic Crisis. I think the US relies too much on doctrine rather than codified law. Well, I mean, that's probably a fair point.
It's actually deeply painful, you guys. Like, these two people raised me, and they raised me in church. They do not know right from wrong now. It's deeply unsettling.
Oh, I recognize this person from other videos. Gotcha.
Watch this happen to your own parents. I don't know if you guys have any advice or words of comfort. Because this is
advice. Like, there's nothing. Like, what can you do? You can't. There's nothing you can do for those people, right? Like, there's nothing you can do for a for the cult member unless they want to leave the cult. That's it. Doesn't matter if they're your parents or if they're your brothers or if they're your sister or if they're your best friend. It doesn't matter. That person is gone. that person is gone. Okay, until they decide to leave that cult of their own volition, then unfortunately that's pretty much it. He does videos with his wife who's ADHD autistic. Gotcha. Reich is a very generic word like realm. Yeah, that makes sense. The UK is Varun. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that. Königreich or king. Kaiser, yeah. Emperor. The only thing you can do is exposing them to less biased media. I mean, you could try if they're willing to listen. You can try. David Deneau. The Faraday's doctrine was repealed in 1987. Not surprising, during the Reagan administration. Yep.
It's actually deeply painful. I'm 41 years old. I've been my own person for a while now, ever since I escaped the fundamentalist Christian cult I was born into. This is wild, man. How did this happen to our parents?
Damn.
I mean, that the same way, people that would otherwise, or were supposedly, otherwise, good people, getting wrapped up in like Nazism, Lithium Industries giving out a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Some differences are irreconcilable. Yep. Surfs Raid. Hey, welcome, surfers. Koenig means king versus being pronounced like it. It's O is like an O, but with narrower lips. Königstiger, like the German tanks. Oh yeah.
Rather have a neurodivergent friend or a neurotypical friend? I'll go first. I think I'd rather have a neurodivergent friend.
That's good because I think most of your friends right now are not all of them are diagnosed.
I forgot to take that into account.
There we go. That's a good thing.
Knowing what I know now about neurodivergence and how neurodivergent people experience the world, I just don't want to live without that in my life at this point. And it's not that I don't have neurotypical friends. I don't know. The weight of the perspective of a neurodivergent person is like, it's something I think I don't want to live without now. Also, you're hot.
I mean, I think I have both, but it depends on what I'm doing, like what activity is involved. I will say, if it's a social situation, I probably would rather have a neurotypical friend simply because, well, a self-aware neurotypical friend. Or at least one who pays attention to their surroundings.
A neurotypical person who notices things.
And who's like emotionally intelligent.
Self-aware.
Or just
mature.
Intuitive. I feel like
asking a lot here.
Because like they can act as buffers a lot of times.
Oh yeah, I've done that for you a lot over the years.
You can kind of lay down some like, okay, this is how long we're staying. Now, you used to have a hard time with that one because.
Well, yes, because
super extrovert.
Yeah, this is definitely the guy, right? Yeah, this is definitely him.
And assuming that their parents ever leave the Trump cult someday, they're never going to be able to unsee their parents behaving that way. And their parents just don't seem to have the self-awareness to care about the way that the fascist cult that they're in is affecting their own children. And another theme that I spotted across these videos is that the children of MAGA parents always seem to express genuine concern for the well-being of their parents, whereas the parents don't reciprocate that concern at all. In fact, it almost feels like they have contempt for their own children because they view them as the enemy since they're not in the cult with them. Regardless, you can still see the glimmer of hope in the eyes of these TikTokers that we've watched because
that's also like a super red flag or indication that someone is in a cult. Like, you're either in the cult or you are an enemy. That's it. That's your two options only. She's describing a neurodivergent neurotypical person. Yep. Lebensraum, living ROM space, is basically habitat and is used in biology and ecology that way. The more you know.
It's clear that they really desperately want to get through to their parents, as hopeless as that feels right now. And even though they probably can't, I understand the desire to never stop trying, because losing a parent, I've got to say, is one of the worst things a person can go through. My dad was never MAGA, thankfully. In fact, he hated Donald Trump and was shocked by the cruelty towards immigrants that he exhibited. But he passed away in 2020. And to me, things have never really felt the same. Like, things are normal again, but it just feels so different now. Even though I'm obviously an adult, I still feel like I need him as much as I did when I was a child. He's always been there for me as a moral foundation and encyclopedia on random shit from cars to plumbing. And when you lose a parent, it feels like the foundation has been pulled out from underneath your feet. And as hard as you try, you can never really regain your balance fully. It's like you're taking your first steps all over again, but this time they're not there to catch you. And that is such an unsettling feeling that I can't describe unless you've experienced it. And I think that the way that I feel about my dad is probably a similar way that these TikTokers feel about their parents as well. Like they've lost a parent that they can't get back. And that feeling of like, wow, you're really on your own now. Shit's going to get real. Like it's setting in, and you can kind of see it in their faces because, you know, they still lost their parents. Like their parents are still alive. Nonetheless, they still lost them. And you can see them acknowledge in real time that they know things are never going to be the same again. And that's a really hard pill to swallow. So I really sympathize with them because you can see the pain in their eyes and the hope that things might still get better. And I certainly don't begrudge anyone for going no contact, but I understand the ones who choose to keep trying as well, because every now and then you do still see a little bit of the old parent in the parent that has morphed into a MAGA dipshit. On that note, I want to share this TikTok from a guy who explains that his dad is a gay Republican who is anti-trans.
Phenomenal. I was just watching a video today showing a truck saying Gaza is now getting 600 trucks per day due to the peace deal. And at the same time, Israel had already announced they pulled out of the deal. Now, didn't they like violate the ceasefire like already? Real quick, I made some chicken and dumplings. It's amazing, just trying to make you hungry. Yeah. I'm eating like a true adult tonight. I'm eating like a true adult. We're having mac and cheese and chicken nuggies, okay? My executive order states that you will talk politics in front of your parents as long as we ban windmills. You know, they kill all the birds. Have you seen how many birds? Okay? And whales, the poor whales. This is Dad's name, Scott Besant.
And he describes the conversation he had and how difficult it was for him to get his dad to make that connection between him being gay and somebody being trans. And this was a post from last November. Nonetheless, it's still really fascinating, and it speaks to like what we're talking about. So let's watch.
He was talking about how he went to the VA, and I don't understand why there's tampons in the men's bathroom. So I asked him, what do you think about trans people? What do you think about the trans?
Oof, that's a big mistake. That's less than 600 though. I have no idea. No, the wind. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of offshore. I'm thinking of offshore windmills, but nonetheless. My family all voted for Trump. My mom did not. The third time though, she finally came at 2 and realized Trump was not a good Christian. Whew.
Issue. And he goes, well, I think it's a mental illness. And I was like, interesting. Do you think you're mentally ill? You like men? Are you mentally ill? And I go, well, that's what people say. People say that you're mentally ill. Your best friend said you're mentally ill. So are you? And he was like, no, I'm me. It's normal for me. And I was like, yeah, that's how they feel. And then he goes, well, I just don't understand how a man can do that to himself. And I go, Dad, I don't understand how you can do that to another man, right? I'm a straight guy. I don't understand how men are attracted to other men. But I don't have to understand because you understand, right? I'm going to trust your word that that's how you feel. I was like, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. And then he goes, well, I don't want to be associated with those kind of people, the LGBT, the way he says it too, LGBTQ. I don't want to be associated with them. And after like 10
associated, brother.
Questions, we got down to it, is that he was embarrassed, right? He was afraid. And I was like, yeah, Dad, like, that's why you stayed in the closet until you were 60 years old, because you were afraid. How you felt when you were in the closet is how trans people feel now. And I go, aren't you happier now that you're out of the closet and you could live your authentic life? And he's like, well, yeah. Yeah, Dad, make the connection. Make the connection. That's how other people feel too.
Yeah, I would imagine that conversation was extremely tiring. But by now, you're probably seeing yet another trend emerge. They're all extremely selfish and simply cannot fathom walking in anyone else's shoes ever. Even when you personally... analyze it and you draw it back to their own human experience, they still struggle to make the connection. And that is so frustrating, but not surprising, because a lot of older people, they had this hyper individualistic mentality pumped into their brains for decades. And you can see the toxic effect that that's having on society now. Like, it's this fuck you.
And that's capitalism.
Got mind, out of sight, out of mind, so I don't have to care about it mentality that is poisoning American politics. And it's frustrating how they are totally immune to the suffering of others, yet only wake up to it once they experience said suffering firsthand themselves. It's the common trope about like the Republican politician who all of a sudden is supportive of gay marriage because his son came out. We also see this with the farmers recently who voted for mass deportation but suddenly oppose mass deportation because their workers are getting deported. They simply do not have the capacity to think about how their actions impact others. It's just me, 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 me. They're the main characters, and nobody else exists but them. And they also don't have the ability to have foresight whatsoever, so they can't even anticipate how something they do will end up hurting them in the long run. It's so frustrating because it's all vibes. Like, it's a vibes-based cult, and it's tearing apart our country. But in conclusion...
Yeah, and it makes me feel like I'm the crazy one. You know what I mean? Like... It makes me feel like I'm the I swear sometimes I like wake up and like question like literally everything. I'm like, what is going on here? How do these people live in? How do these people successfully warp reality this way? Like it just doesn't compute. It just doesn't compute to me how easy it is for these people to just jettison reality. It makes me feel like I'm the crazy one. You know, all the evidence is already gone from TikTok, probably. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really use TikTok that often. I wonder what Twitter looks like. My response to that was, I've got to get out of the country.
You know,
I don't blame you.
A MAGA family member, or in this case, a MAGA parent, as hard as it may be, understand that you are not alone. Your parents aren't the only people who've been infected by a political brain parasite. But the good news is that there is going to come a day when the Trump era is over, and my hope is that all of the brainless cultists who succumbed to the MAGA brain rot wake up one day and feel deeply ashamed of themselves. It's probably not going to happen, but I mean, it's a nice thought.
Will they? You know what I mean? Like, because it sounds to me like a lot of these people are just gonna not handle that very well, and just quadruple down on it. They're just gonna quadruple down on it and take that. They're in their ego. I've never used TikTok. My exposure to TikTok is YouTube Shorts with a TikTok logo in the corner. I feel that. I started feeling that way on January 20th of 81. It is clear to me that the hostage is getting let off the boat at the exact same time as Reagan was getting inaugurated was staged.
Right?
The Humanist Report is fake news.
True. True. Let's check in with our favorite libertarian anarcho-capitalist crypto bro, and let's see how things are going. Uh-oh. Oof. Oof. U.S. is working on doubling aid to Argentina to $40 billion by tapping private funding sources because, things are going so great over there, I guess. Fantastic. Trump administration is looking forward to providing an additional $20 billion in financing for Argentina through a mix of financing from sovereign funds and the private sector. That would come on top of the $20 billion credit swap line that the U.S. Treasury pledged to Argentinian President Javier Milei and his government this month to bolster the South American nation's collapsing currency. Yeah, we're working on a $20 billion facility that would complement our swap line with private banks and sovereign funds that I believe would be more focused on the debt market. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters on Wednesday today he called it a private sector solution and said many banks are interested in it and many sovereign funds have expressed interest. So that's cool. Fantastic. Yeah, more money for fascists. We got all the money for that. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I said to myself, the $20 billion seemed low if several billionaires are getting bailed out by this, and sure enough, it's doubled. Yeah, of course. Of course. Trump shaking down the business sector to help bail out a friend. Yep. Anarcho-capitalism in practice, folks. At a White House meeting today, Milei, Republican President Trump said his administration wanted to, quote, help our neighbors with the aid package. Of course, there's no money for your health care, no money for education, no money for making sure that people have food and housing. But incidentally and coincidentally, I should say, there are billions of dollars to help bail out a failed economy. Your retirement money to save a failed country in a nutshell. That's what sovereign funds are. Fantastic. Those right-wing morons thought an ANCAP president was going to make Argentina's economy soar, but those idiots don't deserve a bailout. 100%, but since we're dealing with Trump here, yeah. Anarcho-capitalism is fascism with a few extra steps. Yeah. All libertarians, all libertarianism just kind of ends up here. Yeah, I feel you. I completely see that, Nadia. The feeling hit hard again in 2000 with Bush versus Gore, specifically with how Bush was anointed or was given that presidency by the Supreme Court. Incidentally, wasn't that the Roberts Court? Wasn't John Roberts instrumental in that? Huh. Anyways, again on September 11th, and again when the 2008 crash. Yep, this time I was the real frog jumping when the water gets too hot. Yeah, I feel that. I get you. 100%. 100%. At a White House meeting today with Milei, Republican President Trump said his administration wanted to, quote, help our neighbors with the aid package, but he also suggested the money could be pulled if Milei's party did not prevail in the October 26 midterms. If he loses, we're not going to be generous with Argentina because I don't do losers, okay? I don't do losers. No, Bush Jr. appointed Roberts. Gotcha. Roberts at the time. Why was Roberts so important in that? Wasn't he a... What was Roberts' role in that 2000 election? Because I know he was involved. I know he was involved in that shenanigans. What was he doing? Wasn't he like a clerk or something? Like, what was his role? Can somebody look that up? Because I'm pretty sure he had a notable, there's a reason why his name is popping in my head when it comes to that election. Okay, he was on the Bush. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. He was on the lawyer team. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so that's why that's triggering that memory. He was a head clerk or something. Gotcha. Okay, so all there he was pretty involved, I would say. Kavanaugh was on that same team too. Ha! Fascinating. A Project 2025 guy just bought the Dominion voting systems. The elections are done. Maybe. I heard about that. Maybe. They won't let go of power now that Project 2025 is in effect. I don't know why they still LARP, because they have to. They have to project some kind of legitimacy. Because if they just put the boot down, and I mean really put the boot down, like how they would want, the people would immediately like revolt. Like it would be immediate. So they have to at least pretend, to a degree, to have some sort of legitimacy. It's petty to pledge aid according to your political alignment, and that's why Trump is such a sore loser. Yep. The Humanist Report is so fake. Do yourself a favor and subscribe to your favorite president's YouTube channel and unsubscribe from the Humanist Report or face jail time. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Who will audit the system? Dems. They also have precedent in court for not being allowed access to the machines. Yeah, I mean, it's not good. I'll say that much. It's not good. How bad is it? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I opened this with this yesterday, and I'm probably gonna open. I'm probably gonna make a mention of this point. As long as there's this president. So, folks, it is not over. It is not over. As long as we are still able to organize. As long as we are still able to voice our opinions and voice dissent, we have an obligation to do everything that we can, whether it be showing up at protests, whether it be community organizing, whether it be throwing a couple dollars to your local DSA, joining your DSA, starting a DSA chapter if you don't have one, looking for groups to organize with, whatever. Posting on social media, organizing events through social media, making art, making content, whatever it is that you can do and that you are able to do and that you are confident in doing. Now is the time, folks. Now is the time, because we are still, as long as we are still able to get to stand up, as long as there are dissenting voices, right? Then we keep going, folks. As long as there's the ability to have dissenting voices, right? Like as long as I'm still able to come up here, right? And say the things that I want to say. Then we keep going, folks. Until that day, okay? If the day that the day that people like me and people like you are not able to say what they want to say is the day we're screwed 6 ways to Sunday. And until then, we continue. Doomerism is just demobilization with a different name. It's not even aid to the real Argentinian economy. It's only aimed to bail out the private sector and provide the federal government with leverage. Yep. I'm getting chatters. Oof. I mean, I'm seeing so far the ones after that. Dominion makes user-facing machines. Accounting machines have been Republican-owned for ages. Even if the GOP gets caught stealing this upcoming election because there won't be a midterm audit that discovers it, it can't be reversed, and all they need is really one more term to concrete it. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Supreme Court decision that is pretty not good. That will make that will make the election stuff seem kind of irrelevant. Peanuts, because if this happens, folks, if this happens, that actually that actually scares me more. That actually scares me more. The Argentinian peso weakened slightly Wednesday after Trump's comments. The peso depreciated about 0.7%. With the dollar, the currency Argentines relied on to save, trading at 13.95 pesos compared with 13.85 the previous day. On Wall Street, shares of the most yada yada yada. So anyways, apparently we have as long as we have money to bail out, you know, the failed anarcho-capitalist state, then all is good, right? Look at this clown, man. I mean, seriously. What a freaking clown, man. Anyways. We got plenty of money for that. We got tens of billions of dollars for that. Stop insulting clowns. My bad. You're right. My apologies. You're right. No wonder Bolsonaro wanted to flee to Argentina. Yep, that would make sense. Fascists tend to protect each other. He's under house arrest now. Before we go, we gotta talk about this story, folks, because this is something that is not good. It's not great. Some folks would even say it's unpoggers. The Supreme Court leans towards further weakening the landmark Voting Rights Act. Sarkozy is reputedly in prison right now. The former president of France. Oof. Something about campaign finance? Ah, took money from Gaddafi. Gotcha. Yeah, America first. Cut any and all funding that goes to the people and send $40 billion to Argentina. Yeah, like Woody Guthrie says, folks, when they say America first, they mean America next. The conservative majority... the conservative majority Supreme Court on Wednesday appeared open to again undermining the Voting Rights Act in a congressional redistricting case from Louisiana. We've been talking about this case for a minute now, and it seems like it's going to come to a head soon. The justices who expanded the scope of the case over the summer heard oral arguments on whether the states can ever consider race in drawing new districts while seeking to comply with Section 2 of the 1965 law, which was enacted to protect minority voters against a backdrop of historic racial discrimination that still exists today. The Voting Rights Act has long been a target of conservative legal attacks, because of course, with the Supreme Court weakening it in two major rulings in 2013 and 2021. Getting rid of the Voting Rights Act has been Robert's life goal since he entered public life, and here we are. Time for some damn good trouble, y'all. Yep, now's the time. I'm going to keep saying it, folks. as long as you have the ability to stand up, as long as you have the ability to dissent, it's in all hands on deck, folks, in whatever ways that you can do, in whatever ways that you can participate. Now is that time. Now is that time. You know that antiquated saying, it's not over until the fat lady sings? Well, the stage is set. The mic is being put on stage. And she's got her set list ready. And the curtain's about to come down. You know what I mean? Like it's not great. But the point being is that now is the time. They're going to try to steal the election from 100 different angles, throw enough and something sticks, it all adds up to. If one doesn't stick, all of them add up to a win. I mean, the logic of these people definitely it definitely is what they want to do. That's 100% something that they want to do. Conservative majority equals 5 black Klansmen and literal handmade from one of the cults that inspired Atwood. Yes. Yep. She's got the horn helmet on too. Yeah. She's from we went over this a long time ago. She was like from a cult like Friends of something. I can't remember. What cult was she a part of? People of Praise. Okay, People of Praise was the cult. Yes, you are right. People of Praise. Omega Star. Resubscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know if I can stand up. My lawyer said I don't have a leg to stand on. Anyone know where I can get an inflatable costume? Asking for a friend. It is that time, folks. The long-running dispute concerns the congressional map that Louisiana was required to redraw last year after being sued under the Voting Rights Act to ensure that there were 2 majority black districts. The original map only had 1 such district in the state where a third of the population is black. The Supreme Court originally heard, come back here, the case earlier this year on a narrow set of legal issues, but in a rare move, it asked in June for the parties to re-argue it. The court then raised the stakes by asking lawyers to focus on a larger constitutional issue. Louisiana, which initially defended its new map, has switched sides and joined a group of self-identified non-African American voters who sued to block it on constitutional grounds. The Trump administration also backs the state's new position. Now, the justices are deciding whether drawing a map to ensure there are majority black districts violates the Constitution's 14th and 15th Amendment, which were both enacted after the Civil War to ensure equal right for former slaves, including the right to vote. Okay, but you are literally destroying that very same concept. Right? Like, you do... Like, that's how this is going to pan out. If you destroy the very concept of making sure that minorities like black people have representation, this is going to do exactly that. What do you think states are going to do if this is all jettisoned? If all of this goes bye-bye, what do you think states are going to do? Love those frog emotes. That's true. And make sure that you do everything legal. Make sure that you do everything to protect yourself. And don't forget, folks, if you go to protests, doesn't matter what kind of protest, even if you're just standing and holding signs, do not bring your phones or put them in a Faraday bag. The original Jim Crow was intelligently done enough to be superficially colorblind. Yeah, and they kind of want they're kind of making that sort of argument by saying that actually protecting, you see, like it's fascinating. I think you exactly that. They're saying that actually we should have a quote colorblind interpretation, right? Because it seems like these protections, like the Voting Rights Act, seem to be protecting minorities too much, right? We should have a colorblind system. But we all know what that means. We all know what the angle is here. Conservatives argue that both constitutional amendments prohibit consideration of race at any time. The Supreme Court has previously embraced this, quote, colorblind interpretation of the Constitution, most notably in its 2023 ruling that ended consideration of race in college admissions. It was unclear, based on the 2.5-hour arguments, whether the court will explicitly rule that race can never be considered in drawing districts. Oh boy. But the conservative majority could limit the ability of civil rights groups to challenge state maps under the Voting Rights Act. One option would be to adopt the proposal made by the Trump administration, which suggests that the court leave Section 2 intact but made changes to an 1886 Supreme Court case called Thornburg versus Gingles. Under that argument, states would have more leeway to draw maps based on overt partisan considerations. As outlined by Principal Deputy Solicitor General Hashim Mupan, states should be able to assert a desire for their own political objectives as a defense when their maps are challenged. This follows a 2019 Supreme Court ruling that said federal courts have no grounds to interfere with rampant partisan gerrymandering. Phenomenal. Sundry Clown Car, we should have a colorblind system in this country that was founded by racists and refused to treat racism as social ill that it is. Nice. Yeah, fantastic. Wait till people realize that their mask they use to cover their face also absorbs paper spray like a chloroform rag, but spicy, and they can't sleep through it. That's true. Just stay safe, folks, and stay safe, and be aware of your surroundings. Go together if you plan to protest, and peaceful. Positive discrimination might be necessary if there is disenfranchisement, though. This is not an ideal world if it was, right? But like the point being is that it's like that's what it is, but like the reality is exactly how it needs to be explained is that we are protecting minorities. Like you have to. Yeah, have a camera ready, and make sure you put your phones in a Faraday bag or leave them at home. Yeah, talking about Pokemon Go. Yeah, Pokemon Go to protests. Okay, folks, flood the streets. Like, I'm not even joking. Pokemon Go to the protests. Conservative Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who's likely to be a key vote in the case, fantastic, seems receptive to that argument. I guess I would have thought that solves a lot of concerns you've identified, he said to Louisiana lawyer Solicitor General Benjamin Aguinaldo. I don't know. Kavanaugh, excuse me, also returned to a point he had previously made that allowing race to be used to remedy redistricting violations under the Voting Rights Act should not be indefinite. What impact the ruling adopting the Trump administration argument would have, which is not as aggressive as the position taken by Louisiana, is hotly contested. Liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor characterized the Trump's administration position, said that the bottom line is just to get rid of Section 2. Janae Nelson, representing civil rights groups that challenged the original map, said a ruling along those lines would swallow Section 2 whole. In concluding her argument, Nelson warned that the justices that a ruling overturning precedent on such a sensitive issue calls the court's legitimacy into question. No, this is long. We're long past that, fam. We're long past that. We're long past the legitimacy of the Supreme Court. Donald Duck now want to see an army of Pokemon blow-up costumes marching in front of the building. Conservatives are arguing not for noise that is the presence of justice, or for the silence that is the absence of justice, but a secret third thing. Yeah, just don't think about it too much. Just to make sure everything with an antenna is off, it varies from phone to phone. Whether airplane mode toggles off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi NFC is probably safe, but I'd turn it off too and do it before you go. Yep, or just put it in a little little Faraday pouch. They're cheap. They're cheap and they're very effective. Someone questioned the court's legitimacy. Roberts is going to write an angry op-ed about that. I know. I saw a while back. Imagine. I am Quaximus. This CODIS has been illegitimate since Reagan first Reagan appointee on it. I like that. I am Quaximus. One complicating factor is that 2 years ago, the Supreme Court surprisingly reaffirmed the requirement that race be used to redraw districts when necessary to comply with the law in a different congressional redistricting case from Alabama. I believe we went over that. The ruling was 5-4 with two conservatives, Justice Roberts and Kavanaugh, joining the court's three liberals on the majority. During Wednesday's arguments, both Roberts, who wrote that ruling, and Kavanaugh seemed to downplay its relevance. That case, of course, took existing precedent as a given. Other conservative justices who dissented in the 2023 case seemed equally on board with ruling in favor of Louisiana. If the objective is simply to maximize the number of representatives of a particular party that's seeking a partisan advantage, is not seeking a racial advantage, isn't that right? I mean, but like, bro, come on, brother. Brother. I was not aware of this. 1968 Chenalta Fair. Oh, I see. It only becomes a partisan advantage if you're brave enough to look into the camera and go, black people have no reason to vote for a Republican, and they don't. Yep. Yeah. I mean, let's be very clear about what this means. Like, bro, come on, please. B-Cat, welcome. Fellow conservative Neil Gorsh said that under the current interpretation of the law, states can intentionally discriminate on the basis of race. Yes, to protect minorities, you need to have checks in place to protect minorities, especially in this country. Like, there's a reason why we had all of these guardrails. Sotomayor and the court's other two liberals are forthright in defending both the 2023 ruling and the Voting Rights Act itself. Elena Kagan noted that the states can only consider race in limited circumstances, namely to remedy a violation of the Voting Rights Act. The race-based redistricting that you're now objecting to is redistricting designed to remedy a specific, identified, proved violation of law. That's the way. That's the way the race-based districting is coming in. It's coming in as a remedy for the specific, proved discrimination on the state's part. A broad ruling in Louisiana's favor would reduce the need for states to draw legislative districts composed largely of minority groups and would likely lead to a reduction in the number of minority lawmakers in Congress and state legislatures. So another way of putting it, is this would be an avenue for Republicans to very handedly draw up districts that would cut off minority districts and effectively cement their majority. I have a cat staring me down. Yeah, I've discriminated. States have discriminated on the basis of race. Bastille was called Jim Crow. It was a big law thing. Maybe you heard of it. No, not these people. They couldn't. Not that these 9 law wizards have decreed that perhaps we should revisit that side of history. Actually, Truman was illegitimate because of the 1944 DNC was rigged, so the SCOTUS has been illegitimate since the first of his appointees in Vincent in 1946. Seems like they're cleaning up the DEI over there in Louisiana. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Can you elaborate on that? What does cleaning up the DEI in Louisiana mean? I wonder. Explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm 5. What does that mean? Say it with your chest. Come on. A broad ruling in Louisiana's favor, come here, would reduce the need for states to draw legislative maps. It says it is reducing the minorities. Yeah, okay. So what do you mean by cleaning up the DEI? Are you saying that cleaning up minorities is a good thing? Come on, stop being a coward and just say it with your chest. You little coward. No, the DEI? No, say it with your chest. Yes, it's reducing... The whole goal is to is to make sure that minorities have less of a voice. But you're too much of a coward to say it. That's right. Republicans use DEI as a stand-in for black civil rights. So they mean revoking the civil rights for black people. Yeah, but this coward doesn't even want to say it out loud. Come on, you have Trump as your president. And you can't even bring yourself to say like the stuff that you want to say out loud? What a coward, man. All of you people are weak. How do these people always find the stream on Twitch? I don't know. Just weak, bored trolls. That's what it is. Like, if you can't even bring yourself to say what you mean. Nah, you can't even say what you mean. Get out of here. Coward. I just said no DEI anymore. Whatever. You know, we all know what you mean, okay? We all know what you mean by getting rid of, cleaning up the DEI in a case, in a case that is specifically talking about voting rights for minority groups. Okay? So, please. Cowards, man, I'm telling you. That's right. Not less of a voice, no voice, and no rights. That's what they would like, yes. And people like depressed 4-inch 40 would can't even say it. They can't even bring themselves to say it. Is it perhaps because it's racist and wrong? Weak. Don't let the mammal hit your ass on the way out. A quick ruling would give Louisiana and other states time to draw new districts ahead of the 2026 midterm elections, which is the goal, by the way. It is 7 o'clock, folks. We're wrapping up. With black voters often voting Democratic, such a move could benefit Republicans. Yeah, I mean, that's one way of putting it. The severity is not being really... the severity of this ruling, the ramifications of this ruling, is not really like the urgency of this ruling is not really being given here in the description of like, oh well, I guess with like minorities being like completely taken out of the process as far as voice goes, it could benefit Republicans. Like this is really freaking bad. Let me just say the ramifications of this. If the Supreme Court decides to like basically like old Yeller what's left of the Voting Rights Act is huge. Okay, it means that Republicans will more likely get to work on redistricting in ways that it will basically make sure that they will enjoy a very big majority in the House for the foreseeable future. This is not exaggeration. This is literally part of the plan. And it seems like the Supreme Court wants to give it to them. Yeah, Dred Scott 2.0. Yes. Black voters overwhelmingly vote Democrat. Right, and they know this. That's why, that's why this question was posed, right, by the justice. Right? If the objective is simply to maximize, in a partisan way, the number of representatives of a particular party that's seeking an advantage, it's not seeking a racial advantage, isn't that right? I mean, please, let's be for real. Let's be so for real about this, please. Minorities, not just black. Yes, that's right. That's right. It's not great, folks. It's not great. Not good, not great. But you know what, folks? Once again, if you are able to dissent, okay, as long as you are able to dissent, as long as I have a microphone, as long as you are able to speak your dissent, whether it be on social media posts, whether it be talking to friends, whether it be showing up at protests, whether it be organizing, whether it be joining your DSA, whatever it is, now is the time, folks. Now is the time. Nobody is going to come and save you. Nobody's going to come and save you. This is a all hands on deck kind of thing. It is literally up to us. Okay, we need to all close ranks. Everyone who is anti-fascist, anyone who believes in democracy for the sake of believing in freedom. This is the time to close ranks. This is the time to close ranks. Spread the word, folks. Okay, organize. The fact that the DNC hasn't embraced Sauron, it speaks volumes. Yeah, I agree with you. Vote blue no matter who, except when it doesn't suit you. The time is always now. Yeah, especially now. Good luck, Soul Life. I hope everything goes good. Thank you for hanging out, Ladybug. Mackelhasser, thank you for hanging out and modding the chat. Appreciate it. Executive orders are illegal now, too. It's time for me to get out of here. Manda, it's like Republicans are barbarians torching the town and Democrats are passive observers and watching it happen. We're on our own. Yes, but with that knowledge, I mean, it's us. It's the people. The people have the power. And it's our job as lefties to galvanize people, galvanize the working class, galvanize the people who are willing to fight against fascism because they believe in democracy. All of those people, all of us need to close ranks and circle the wagons, so to speak, and be ready to defend each other, because while we are able to organize, we should. While we are able to organize, we should. Yes, and bring, of course, your favorite frog costume. Long live the Portland frogs. Together, we ribbit. Divided, we croak, folks. Thank you all for being here. If you want to support the channel directly, go check out the links. The links are up there. Check out the merch store. Do all the things. The tip, the !tip, merch, Discord, Substack. Check out my show Tuesdays at this space, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Has chat's back. Yes, we all have each other's back. I appreciate it. Germany is teetering on the brink of the AfD taking over. China is probably the only bulwark against fascism. I mean, maybe, but we can't expect another nation state to save us. I mean, at least here. It's the people. We need to organize. We need to organize. Organize. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. We'll be back Monday. Yes. woke moralist. I don't even know how to do like the Kermit the Frog. I gotta work on that one. We'll be back Monday tomorrow. I believe there's no stream, simply because I'm going to be busting a mission to get the cat from the vet. So yeah, no stream tomorrow. Thank you all once again. See you guys on Monday. Appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Okay, that's the most important thing. Take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Hang tight, folks. Hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Yeah, hot mic moment.